Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. This is your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, along with my other host, Mr. James Miller.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing here this morning? And we got some football to talk about, starting the weekend with the NFL. But we'll talk a little bit on the women's NBA and touch a little bit on the Major League Baseball. Before we get into it, I'll let Terrell Davis or Cool Beans start with thanking our listeners.
All right, yes, we want to give a shout out to all those that listen to our lives and come back for the replays. This one's actually our radio edition, even though we're live like right now on X. But this is actually, we're recording this for our audio version. But we like to give a shout out to our cities that's always been out there for us: Brussels, Belgium; Grinzek Weilen, Germany; Boardman, Oregon; San Jose, California; and Ashburn, Virginia.
Yeah, thank everybody for listening and tuning in to us as we talk sports that we love to do. And well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started, and we'll touch up on with the women's NBA as it's narrowing down to I guess the last week. There's three teams left fighting for that last playoff spot. Right now, you got the Chicago Sky sitting in the eighth seed. They got a game lead on the Atlanta Dream, and then the Washington Mystics are two games back of that eighth spot. And it's going to come down to the nitty gritty here in the next week with these three teams. And if I'm on a mistake, I'm going to pull up. It's either the Dream or the Sky. Between those two, they got to play the Mystics twice. So the Mystics own their own fate. All they got to do is probably win out, and they can
Right.
probably make the playoffs. But as I look at this right now, okay, it must be the Dream because I got the Sky schedule up. But here's the thing: tonight, no, not tonight, tomorrow night, the Sky plays the Mystics.
Yep.
So the Mystics has got three games out of those five between the Dream and the Sky. So they have to win out pretty much to make the playoffs. Um, and here's what the Sky's remaining schedule looks like. Tomorrow, they're playing the Mystics on the 13th. They play Lynx. On the 16th, they play Mercury. On the 17th, they play the Dream. So here they go. They got the Dream. Um, the Sky's playing as well. And then they finish up on the 19th with the Sun. That is the Sky schedule as of right now.
That one's going to be a tough one for the Sky. Well, actually, it's just that last one with the Sun. I hope it don't come down to we need this game and then they got to play the Sun. But then again, the Sun is already in the playoffs, so they might just sit their starters. They might just like take it easy that game. I don't know.
And then Angel Reese, she's out for the season. She's got a broke bone in her wrist, so she's got to have surgery on. So she is done until next year, which you was hoping to see her in the playoffs, to see
Yep.
her and Caitlin Clark both in the playoffs being rookies, but that's not going to happen. And right now, I've got the Atlanta Dream schedule pulled up, and their remaining five games. Tonight, they play the Lynx. Then their next two games on the 13th and the 15th is with the Mystics. So if the Mystics can't lose, they just can't lose. They got to win out.
Yeah.
And then they play the Sky on the 17th, and then on the 19th, Liberty. So that's going to be a tough game there for the Dream, that last game.
Right.
So I don't know if they will have to win. Okay, they got five games left. To
Hmm.
me, on how it falls, they got to win four out of those five to try to get that eight spot. So if they because that would knock the Mystics out,
Right.
and then if even if they lose to Liberty, maybe the Mystics can knock the sky off for them, and that would, even if they lose to Liberty, then they're in the playoffs.
I'm gonna go on a limb. I've been sitting here trying to think who it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the Dream. I think the Dream has the best chance out of all three of these teams. Because the Sky, no Angel Reese. I want to say the Sky is done.
Well, you got it's going to be tough. I'm going to go over some scores from Sunday because we was on the air Saturday. We talked
Right.
about that. They had some games Sunday, no games yesterday. Um, and we'll get to it right here. Um, and on Sunday, you had, well, that's Tuesday here. Let me get on Sunday. I clicked on Sunday and it didn't pop up, but now we are. We're on Sunday. You had the Lynx and the Mystics. They played each other. And the Mystics could have helped themselves out, but they didn't. They lost to the Lynx 78-71.
Mm.
So now the Mystics are in that situation, man. They got to win out. Um, and then here you go. The Dream didn't help themselves out either. They got beat by the Fever and Caitlin Clark 104-100. Caitlin Clark had like 26 points and 12 assists, so she had a double double. But that wasn't your top scorer. You had Boston had 30 points and 13 boards, her teammate. So you're getting a lot of production. And I think there was another player, if I'm not mistaken. I'll bring up the box scores. I was looking at them.
It's
Another
probably Kelsey Mitchell because that's who I thought you was gonna say.
another player I think had 20 points when I looked at that earlier, and it was Mitchell. She had 21 points. So when you've got Boston and Mitchell and Clark scoring 75% of the points, if they can keep that up, keep this play up, they're going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yep, that's the three scores right there. You got Mitchell, Boston, and Caitlin. It's like that's pretty much a good combo. They've really stepped it up. They really especially since, and I have to agree with Stephen A. had what you call it said this, that was it Stephen A? Maybe it was Shaq. I can't remember who it was. It was one of I was watching and it said it was a good thing that Caitlin got cut off that Olympic team because since they had that month break, they gave him some rest and they gave her some time to gel with her teammates. And I think that's paying off.
It is. It is. It gave her time to rest, and you agree with Stephen A. Smith.
I
I
know
probably
that's wrong.
I probably only agree with him probably two times my whole life.
I know,
You-
right?
Hopefully he's listening to us. I
I
know
know,
he's
yeah.
not. He's doing his own show. So everything. But I'll get on to these other games that was on Sunday. You had the Aces and the Liberty. Now listen to this. Liberty beat the Aces 75-71, but the Aces didn't have Wilson, Aja Wilson. She
Oh,
was out with ankle injury. So they bout. Now think about this. They bout beat Liberty without her. So if she had that, if they had her that game, which this has no implications on the playoff system, them two teams are where they're at. Um,
right.
but that just goes to show you they are able to knock Liberty off.
Yeah. Not to
And
mention the Aces are the two-time defending champions.
and your top scorer for the Aces was Plum. She had 25 points with 6 assists, and then Stewart for Liberty had 21 points and 11 boards. And then here you had the Sky and the Wings. Um, the Sky helped themselves out. They beat the Wings 92-77. Carter for Chicago had 28 points and 6 assists, and Oganaboa. I can't say her name. I mess it up
We
every
just
time.
call her OG.
OG, that's it. OG. She had 23 points for the Wings. And then you get down to the last game of that Sunday. You had the Sparks and the Sun, and Sparks are out of the playoffs.
Hmm.
But the Sun beat the Sparks 79-67. You had Jones for Connecticut, who had 21 points, 9 boards, and then Jackson for the Sparks had 23 points and 3 steals. So that's where we're at with the women's NBA right now. Um, we'll keep. I'm gonna keep an eye because between the Mystics and the Dream in the Sky, we'll see what happens here in this next week in these next couple games, because it may shape it up before the season's over. If
I think it's. I really think it's gonna be the dream. I was like, I gotta wait the last couple. I gotta think. I think it's gonna be the dream because they got like the better, chance since no Reese. But like I said, Reese wasn't everything for the Sky though. But she was getting those double doubles. She was their rebounder and everything. So I gotta get somebody to step it up on that, like on that rebounds. But now Carter is their scorer, so
we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on that this week, especially on our next time we're on the air on Saturday. It may be wrapped up, and they may have
yeah, it
eight.
should be.
It may be wrapped up then. But we'll go ahead and move it right along in here into a little bit into baseball in the major leagues. We'll talk about some scores last night. You had the Reds and the Braves keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Uh-oh.
The Reds beat them 1-0 in Atlanta. You Marlins and the Pirates. The Pirates beat the Marlins 3-2. Now I will say this: the Pirates had Skeens, their pitcher. He's 10-2 on the year with a 2.10 ERA. He's a rookie. He's a rookie pitcher, and he joined a rare class, I think, of 4 other rookies. I didn't write their names down. With 150 strikeouts on the year, he hit I think 151 last night within under 20 games pitched.
Nice.
So there's only been only I think 4 others is what they said on that. Then you had the Tampa Bay Rays and the Phillies. The Phillies won 2-1, so the Rays fell back, in the race there.
Right.
The Yankees beat the Royals 10-4. You had the Mets beating the Blue Jays in Toronto 3-2. You had the Red Sox pounding the Orioles 12-3, and then the Angels beat the Twins in Minnesota 6-2. The Guardians beat the White Sox in Chicago 5-3, and then the Cubs beat the Dodgers 10-4. Now we'll go to the standings to see what couple. There's only a couple divisions there. It's close to win the division, and it's still Yankees are starting to pull away from the Orioles. They got a game and a half lead on them. It's the Yankees are 83-61, and the Orioles are 82-63. Cleveland's still leading 3.5 games on the Royals. And Astros still got a 4.5 game lead there. The Braves are 8 games out in third place of that division, still a game back of the Mets. So that means they're going to be a game out of the wild card.
Right. Dang.
And then Milwaukee Brewers. It used to be Milwaukee Braves years ago. Years
Milwaukee
ago.
Brewers.
Yeah, but Milwaukee Brewers, they're leading that division by 8.5 games. They're 82-61. That's over the Cubs. And then the Dodgers are over the 5.5 games over the Padres. But the Diamondbacks are half a game of the Padres. So, and then click on the wild card here to see where that's going to fall. And in the AL, right now, the Orioles, the Royals, and Orioles. The Orioles have got a 5.5 game lead, so they're your top seed of the wild card. Then the Royals are in second, and then Minnesota's holding that third spot right now, with 3 other teams tied behind them. The Tigers, the Red Sox, and the Mariners are 3 games out of the wild card race. In the National League right now, the Padres have got a game and a half lead as the top spot of the wild card, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks are a game, and then the Mets is holding that third spot with the Braves 1 game out. And then behind the Braves, the Chicago Cubs are 5 games out of that last spot. So that's where we're sitting at right now. And then we'll go to the stats. Right now, as far as the Triple Crown goes, Aaron Judd is hitting 322. He's tied for second with Vladimir Guerrero.
Okay, he came back up because I remember last week we was talking about he
Yeah.
was down to third.
So he's tied for second. Bobby Bobby Witt is batting 335. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. I still don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah,
Judge,
there's a big gap.
Judge is still not hitting no more home runs. He's set on 51. Otani's got 46, and Aaron Judge has got 126 home runs. Now they did say this with Otani. He's on pace to finish the season with 51 home runs and 50 stolen bases. He
Hmm.
would be the first player ever in MLB history to ever do that. The only player if he does that.
50 home runs and
And
50
50
stolen
stolen
bases.
bases. Yeah. So he'll be the only player. So you've got two people here. You got Aaron Judd and you got Otani. It's making uh, baseball history throughout this year. Um, so it's just it's a rare talent that we're seeing with them two right now that
Right.
that you and I will never see again in our lifetime.
Yeah.
So um, and that's where we're at right now with baseball. And there's anything you want to mention in before we go ahead and dive into football? Because
No, not really. We tackled the WNBA. No NBA news that I knew of, and yeah, I think we're ready to roll on to the next one.
all right, me bro ahead and bring up college. We'll talk some college football before we get in the NFL, and then
Yeah,
we'll
we got to
do.
put in our college picks today.
Yep, we got to do our college picks. And as far as before I get to that, I'll bring up the football, and we'll bring up the ranking because that all changed after this weekend. Um, with everything, let's see. Standings. Let's see where it's at now. Well, I'm trying to get it up.
Cool beans.
Okay, let's just do this. Now I know Texas jumped Ohio State in the rankings. And my family's in from Cleveland because my uncle passed away last week. So
Oh,
they're
sorry to hear about
all
that.
right. Thank you. So they're in from Cleveland, and he said Texas. My other uncle told me Texas leapfrogged Ohio State in the polls, and I said, well, I can see why they beat a 10th ranked Michigan team, and
Right.
Ohio State ain't played nobody yet, so you can see that happening with the leapfrog.
But here's the thing: is that a true thing? Because technically, I don't think Michigan should have been ranked 10.
Well, the
Not
reason,
knowing when they lost all those starters, Hardball was gone, so it's a new coaching staff. They should have never been at 10.
well, really, I mean, they won the national championship last year, so usually your national championships rank 1 or 2. So they did drop them down to the 10th spot because I mean, you still got to respect they won the championship, some I
Yeah.
guess, but they was scheduled against a powerhouse Texas team. I mean, Texas is tough. Texas will probably win the SEC. They'll they'll give Georgia a run for their money. They could possibly win it. the SEC championship. But as of right now, if I get this going here, let's see. That's not going to work that way. Usually they have the is that the rankings? Let's see what we got here. AEP don't. Okay, here we go. Here's the rankings as of right now. Number 1 is Georgia. Number 2 is Texas. 3 is Ohio State. 4 is Alabama. Alabama ain't going to stay up there long. Alabama, you give it. I don't know what their schedule looks like yet. They about got beat. Well, not they end up beating them pretty good. They struggle with South Florida, so they struggle with them. Then Ole Miss is 5th, Missouri's 6th, Tennessee 7th, Penn State is 8th. Why in the world Penn State is still 8th? I have no idea. They about got beat by Bowling Green.
Right. Yep.
Um, Oregon is 9th, Miami 10th, USC 11th, Utah 12th, and them fans are still talking trash, even after barely beating a weak Baylor team. They're still talking trash.
Right. And they're at number 12. I mean, like, come on now. They talking like they the number 3 in the nation.
Oh, they said they're going to run the Big 12, and I just pointed out 3 to 4 losses they're going to have on their schedule. So, but anyway, we keep going on. We got Oklahoma State at 13, K State at 14, Oklahoma at 15, LSU at 16, Michigan at 17. So Michigan fell from 10th
The
to
17th.
17th. So we'll see what they can do as far as rebounding. And remember, Notre Dame lost.
Yeah, they did.
They fell down to 18. Louisville at 19, Arizona 20. Iowa State jumped into the top 25 rankings after beating Iowa. That was ranked 25th. Iowa State is 21st. Clemson is 22nd. Nebraska 23rd. Boston College 24th. And Northern Illinois, I think that's the team. Who did they beat? They beat
Ain't that the ones who beat Notre Dame?
Notre Dame, so they're ranked 25th.
Yeah.
So
And I'm
that,
glad to see Boston College got in there.
yeah, they're 24th. Because I mean, they knocked off Florida State, which like I said,
Mhm.
Florida State was overranked anyway. A couple other teams, Penn State is, they're overranked. They'll find out once they get in their Big Ten schedule. So now we'll get onto the schedule here. What's coming on with the games and stuff. You got games coming this Thursday night. There's 2: Arizona State, Texas State, Northwestern State, and South Alabama. Then Friday, you've got 2 games: UNLV and Kansas. Kansas was ranked last week, but got beat by Illinois. So that wasn't good for the Big 12. It wasn't good
Mhm.
for West Virginia's schedule coming up. 20th ranked Arizona is playing Kansas State. I hope Kansas State wins that. Which we've got Kansas State. West Virginia's got Kansas State and Arizona on their schedule.
Mhm.
But I hope K State wins that. That way they can stay undefeated when we go to watch them in October. Then Saturday, a big slate of games. You got Alabama with Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, LSU, South Carolina. You've got Arkansas State and Michigan. Let's see. Let's just scroll down through here past some of these. Boston College is playing 6th ranked Missouri.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one right there.
That could be. I don't know. I ain't seen Missouri play, so I don't know if Missouri's maybe ranked a little too high yet this year or not. Um, then you got Oregon and playing Oregon State. Miami's playing Ball State. Oklahoma's playing Tulane. Notre Dame. Now watch this. Notre Dame is playing Purdue. That's
Hmm.
going to be my upset of the week. That's where I graduated with my degree from online is from Purdue.
Right.
So that's my upset game this week. Is Purdue beating Notre Dame? Um,
Okay.
let's see. Texas A&M's playing Florida. And then West Virginia's going to Pitt.
Oh,
Uh,
Pitt. I mean, Pitt's gonna lose that one. West Virginia
um,
should be able to. They're
they
playing in
should.
Pitt, right?
They're playing in Pitt. It's at 3:30 kickoff. ESPN 2 is covering that. Um, then scrolling on down through here, Utah is playing Utah State. I would love to see the upset there, but you know how that's going to go. Let's see what other Ole Miss is playing Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake Forest lost that one.
Number 2 Texas is playing UTSA. Um,
Texas.
so Texas is going to win that, but Georgia's playing Kentucky and Nebraska, Northern Illinois, Iowa, and then let's see, number 7 Tennessee's playing Kent State, and I think it's some of your the bigger games, right?
Hmm.
But here's what we'll do. I'll go ahead so we can go ahead and pick those. I'll bring them up on my phone because it's easier for me to bring them up on here to pick.
Right.
Just because we're going to do we'll do the top 25 like we did, and then we'll just pick a couple that's outside of 25, like West Virginia, Pitt, that game, and some of the maybe a couple others. We'll scroll down through there and look at.
Cool
Um,
beans.
but get this brought up. There it is. Schedule. Let's see. All right. Well, usually, let's do this. Maybe it's underneath there. There we go. All right. The top 25. We'll start with we got Arizona and Kansas State. They're playing in Kansas.
Hmm.
I'm
I
going to
want
go.
to say it's Kansas State.
I'm going K State. You're going K State.
Yeah. I don't know if them Arizona people with them 110 high gonna be able to play in that cold because it's gonna be cold. Even though it might be 80 degrees, that's freezing for them.
Alabama and Wisconsin. Alabama's ranked.
Alabama.
Alabama's ranked fourth in the country. And they're playing in Wisconsin. I'm on to say upset alert, upset alert. Wisconsin's going to win that.
I'm with you on that. It's like their wake up calling is coming on this game.
They've been struggling starting out, so I think they'll get their first loss. Then our next game is Oklahoma State and Tulsa. That should be
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma should that should be easy with that. Then LSU and South Carolina.
Mm,
Man, I don't know. I don't know with that one. I'm gonna go LSU, but
I'll be the butthead. I'll go South Carolina.
I'm going South Carolina. Michigan's playing Arkansas State. I'm gonna say Michigan's gonna win that one. They'll rebound back.
Yeah, I think so. Arkansas State. I just don't know enough about them, so I'll go Michigan.
And then Boston College in Missouri.
That's gonna be a hard one. I do not want to pick against Boston State, but Missouri, I'm like they rank sixth, and Boston College, you just got it. I hate for them just to get in the rankings and to be tossed on out.
I'm going Mizzou, but I'm
I
like
am
you.
too.
I'm like you. Boston College could do an upset, but then we got Oregon and Oregon State. Mm.
I think the Ducks, Oregon Ducks. I'll take that.
Who they about lost to somebody last week, didn't they? Oregon.
I
They struggled. Let's see who they was. They struggled with somebody. I'm not gonna go come out of this, but Yeah, let's do it up here. It's easier to do it on here. But let's see. They struggled. They won, but let's see who they struggled with. Yeah, Boise State. They barely beat Boise State 37-34. So
Yeah.
they're playing Oregon State. That's a rival. It's in Oregon State. That's a you know what? Oregon State who I'm going with. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm still gonna stick with the Ducks though.
He going with the Ducks.
Yep.
And then we go on down. You got Miami and Ball State. Miami will win that.
Yeah.
Um, then you got Oklahoma and Tulane. Oklahoma will win that.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
And then my upset alert, Notre Dame and Purdue. I'm going Purdue.
I'm gonna. I would go with you on that one, but Notre Dame just lost. I just can't see them losing two in a row.
Notre
I'll go with Notre Dame.
Utah and Utah State. I'm going Utah State.
I'm going Utah State too, just because I can't stand Utah. I don't even watch college football like that, but I just already I can't stand them.
Utah State. I'm going for. I'm hoping they, but we'll see what happens. You got Ole Miss and Wake Forest. I
Yeah,
go
Ole Miss gonna
Ole
take that one.
Miss. Ole Miss will take that.
I remember back in the day, Wake Forest used to be real good, but
They used to be tough.
yeah,
Texas and UTSA. I'm gonna go Texas.
Texas,
Them Longhorns. Georgia and Kentucky. Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Then you got Northern Iowa and Nebraska. Nebraska should win that. They,
Nebraska, yep.
Nebraska put a thumping on Colorado last week.
Northern Iowa got they got lucky. Not. Oh wait, that was Northern Illinois that beat Notre Dame,
Yeah, yeah,
and you said Northern Iowa. I'm
yeah.
about to say they got lucky last week.
Tennessee and Kent State, and I'm going to say Tennessee will win
Tennessee.
that. And then we'll get up here with week 3. Okay, we'll do a couple. Let's see, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16. That's only 16 games. You got 2 ranked schools, 2, so it'll be 17. There should be a couple more on here. If I see them when I scroll down, I'll mention them.
Cool beans.
16. Let's see here. Where's that West Virginia game at? Well, okay. There, that's why. West Virginia and Pitt. They're playing in Pitt. I'm gonna go WVU on that.
I'm going with you on that one.
And let's see here. Let's do a couple others. We did the Big 12. I guess we can do Big 12. Kansas and UNLV. I'm gonna go Kansas.
Yeah, I gotta go Kansas. I ain't heard nothing from UNLV in a long time. I'm like, I remember 80s, 90s they were good, but nah, go Kansas.
And let's scroll on down. We done picked that one. Instead of let's just do this here. I'll go back up.
Who Virginia Tech got?
I'll look it up real fast.
Because that's more like in our area.
It's our area. They are playing. They are playing Old Dominion. I'll go VT on that one.
Yeah. Old Dominion used to be good back in the day too.
They did. So, and then we get back up here to the Big 12. We'll finish picking the Big 12 and just call it that.
Okay.
Now we got, see, I keep forgetting about this because we got the newcomers in there from the Pac 12 or
Hmm.
the Pac. You got Arizona State and Texas State. I'm going to go Arizona State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texas.
You can't get away from the Texas schools,
I
baby.
know.
Texas State. And then, let's see. We done picked that game. We done picked that one. We done picked that one. You got Cincinnati and Miami, Ohio. I'm going to go Cincy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cincy on that because Cincy, they were the later team to because I remember Miami, Ohio used to be the bomb when Roethlisberger was there, but
Yep.
I don't really heard nothing since he went to NFL and out the NFL. I ain't really haven't heard nothing about that school.
Now, this is going to be a little mind-boggling. There's two Texas teams for you. North Texas and Texas Tech. I'm going Tech.
Tech, yep. No, I should have just said tie.
Then we got, here's one here, Air Force and Baylor.
Ooh, I would like to say Baylor on that one.
You going
Just
Baylor?
because, yeah, because like I've always said, the only thing I hate about our military schools is they don't have that beef on that line. They can't have all that.
I'm going to go Air Force. I'm going Air Force on that one. Then you got Colorado and Colorado State. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one right here.
Yeah, wasn't it last year? Last year, that was the game that Dion almost came back in, wasn't it? Oh no, wait, they beat Colorado State last year.
They beat them, but Colorado State knocked out their best player in that cheap shot.
That's right.
I got Colorado State. I'm going to go with them. They're playing in Colorado State.
I'm gonna back Dion. I'm going Colorado.
I like Dion. All right, UCF, and TCU. Whew, that's going to be a tough one.
You already know which one I got.
You going TCU? I'll go TCU with you. You got Rice and Houston.
Oh,
Um,
those are two what you call it schools in two Texas schools right there. But I'm gonna
I'm
go
on.
with Rice.
You're going Rice. I'm gonna go with Houston. Only reason I'm going with Houston is because they gave Oklahoma a game the other day or last weekend. And then we got BYU and Wyoming. I'm gonna go BYU.
BYU and Wyoming. Yeah, go with Brigham Young.
And that's our picks for this week. Now, last week on our picks in college, I went 22-7, and you went 18-11. So that's week 2. That was what you went. And now, since the college is done, we're ready to jump into the NFL.
Yep, Thursday's night game is gonna be a hard one to pick because
So,
both teams played like crap week one.
and then we'll go ahead and do those picks now, and then get that out of the way, and then because we'll get talking and then run out of time.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and bring up the schedule.
Thursday
And
night we got Buffalo at Miami, I think.
yeah, my computer's going. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah, that's how mine was earlier today. It's like,
Oh, no wonder. Why is it? I'll get there here in a minute. They have me on preseason week 2.
oh,
All right. Yep. We got Buffalo and Miami coming up. This is, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go Buffalo.
It's hard when I want to go Buffalo, but both of them like they really play like crap. It's just like, and here's the thing: I didn't watch the Miami game first of all, so I was watching the highlights, and I don't know if this happened. Nowhere in the highlights did I hear anything about Odell Beckham. Did he even play?
No, he was out. He was out hurt.
Oh, okay. That's the one where I was like, I didn't hear nothing about Odell Beckham.
No, he was out. He didn't play that game.
I'm going Buffalo.
You going Buffalo? All right. And here's this next one. The Saints in Dallas, the Cowboys.
You know who I got.
I got the Cowboys on this. I tell you what, the Cowboys defense looked spectacular Sunday in Cleveland.
They did.
They rattled the Cleveland Browns offensive line could not block.
Yep.
I don't think the Browns are done. I don't think their season's done. They just came across top notch defense um, with Dallas, but Dallas's defense looked excellent. And what about your man Ezekiel Elliott?
I don't know about him. I prefer. I wanted him to start over Rico Dow. It's like the backs to me. That back. None of the backs did anything.
All right, we'll get. You got here's another good one. Tampa Bay and Detroit. Them two played in the playoffs last year. They met in the playoffs in Detroit, and they're playing in Detroit. This is going to
Yeah,
be a tough one.
it is a tough one, but I think I have to go Detroit.
You're going Detroit Lions. Man, what to do on this one? This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I may go to the Lions on that. I guess I may messed up on that, but the Lions, and then you got the Colts and Green Bay. I'm going the Colts,
Yeah, I'm going Colts too. Jordan Love showed us exactly what he is. Got that big
but
contract, got hurt.
he's not on the IR though. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that is.
They got him. He's not on the IR, but they're going to lose that game. You got the Jets in Tennessee. I'm going to go with the Jets. I
I'm
think
going with the Jets too.
they'll rebound. We'll get on that Tennessee team here in a minute.
I just can't
Um,
trust Tennessee. They had a good game. Chicago would just hand it to them. It was easy,
yeah,
and
we'll
they
get.
screwed it up.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get on that and Caleb Williams here in a minute. 49ers in Minnesota. I'm gonna go. See, this could be. And I was talking to my buddy. This could be a trap game for the 49ers. They're
Mm,
going to Minnesota. Sam Darnold's not a bad quarterback.
yeah.
He's got weapons everywhere. Um, McCaffrey didn't play last night,
Hmm.
and when McCaffrey didn't play last night, it changed that whole dynamic of that offense.
It did.
It changed everything. Yeah, the 49ers won, but they only scored two touchdowns. Think
Hmm.
about that. Two touchdowns, they only scored, and they didn't have McCaffrey in the offense. So here's the thing. If McCaffrey ain't playing that game this coming week, 49ers lose to the Vikings in Minnesota. But if McCaffrey's in that offense, 49ers win. But if there's an upset week, it's hard to go against the 49ers.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go
I'm going. Freaking Minnesota.
Minnesota. Let's do the Vikings. We're going upset. Vikings. And then you got Seattle and New England. I'm gonna go New England. New
I
England.
know New England looked pretty good. I thought they was going to be horrible, but they looked.
New England.
Well, that defense
Well,
was
I
like,
tell you who shocked me was the Bengals. The
yeah.
Bengals shocked me, which you know, I don't know. It's just New England. We both got New England on that. Washington and New York. I'm gonna go with Washington.
Washington.
Um, Los Angeles and Carolina. I'm going Chargers.
Yep, Chargers.
Carolina may not win a game this year.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It's like
Cleveland and Jacksonville.
Cleveland.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland on this one. And then we got the Raiders in Baltimore. I'm going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens too.
My buddy said he's a Ravens fan. He said they're so unpredictable. He said they'd probably go in there and lose that game. The Rams in Arizona. They're at Arizona. I'm going to go. Man, that's a tough one there.
That's a
I'm,
tough one because actually Arizona looked pretty good in
they
Buffalo.
did. I'm going Rams, but it could go either way. I think that's a flip of a coin.
I'm gonna go Cardinals.
All right. And then Pittsburgh and Denver. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's defense looked good.
Bo Nix actually surprised me in that game.
I figured Bo Nix would do all right. They was talking how good he was doing and everything else. But Kansas City and Cincinnati, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
I think the Bengals, they have some issues.
Yeah.
And here it is right now. This pick here. This is an 8:20 game Sunday night. It is the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears. And
Texas.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you Bears fans that's living up there, I don't know where you're living, y'all gonna get blown out. You may not score. I don't know. You're gonna get blown out. And since we're on this game right here, I'm going Texans. And Caleb Williams was Caleb Williams that we was expecting.
Yep.
Like he was like less than 50%. And so he didn't throw a touchdown pass.
He didn't break 100 yards.
No, 78 yards passing. He was overthrowing the receivers by 8 yards, 10 yards. He was the Caleb Williams that you and I was talking about would show up against a Tennessee defense.
Yep. But here's the thing. This is the one thing I overlooked about that Chicago team. That defense is hell. They got a pretty damn good defense.
They got a defense, but no offense to go with it.
Yeah, well, that's why they should have had a veteran quarterback.
They got key players. I'm not going to say that. They got no quarterback.
Yep.
Caleb Williams he can't do it. And now you're getting ready to play a better defense with Houston. The defense is what won that ball game for Chicago.
Yep, exactly.
If it wasn't for those turnovers, they would have not won that ball game.
Yeah, that's 14 points right there. There was a fumble return. Well, not a fumble return. It was a block punt, and that got returned for a touchdown. And then they had a 43-yard interception return for a touchdown. That's 14 points that if you take off the board, Chicago loses that game.
That's it. I mean, and Chicago should have lost that game. Mm-hmm. So you take away those turnovers. And think about this. Now you're playing. They played in Chicago. Caleb Williams, it's the first game. He played that bad. Now you're going to Houston, playing a playoff team, maybe a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
In the Texans, and you're getting ready to have a rude awakening coming Sunday. And let's pick this last game, and then we'll get back on that game there. We got the Eagles in Atlanta, and this is going to be tough because the Eagles looked horrible.
They did.
And you know what was impressive to me with Atlanta? Their defense. Atlanta's defense looked good. They were all over the field. Atlanta couldn't get nothing going because of the Steelers' defense. So It was like a defensive battle. They're playing in Philly, which is going to be a tough place to play.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm going to go Falcons. I know I know who you're going with because you ain't going to pick them, but I know who you're going with.
I'm going Falcons.
I know. You ain't going to pick those Eagles.
The Eagles are the true dirty birds of the game.
but that's gonna be a tough game there Monday night. Because I mean, Atlanta's defense looked good. They look good. And but now here's the thing. I'll say this: the Packers and the Eagles played in Brazil, and you know how I feel about playing in other countries. Which that really wouldn't, playing in other countries or going overseas or anything. At the climate change and everything else, different environment.
Right.
But I mean, they looked horrible.
Yeah.
Mr. Keller, our Eagle fan buddy, he said he told me yesterday morning. He said, "You know what we playing for?" He said, "We ain't playing for a Super Bowl." He said, "We playing for the first pick for next year." that was coming. That was coming from an Eagles fan. He said, "We looked horrible." But
Yeah.
now getting back to this Chicago and Houston game, it's going to be hard for me to get off Caleb Williams. But I'm going to click on that. I know we went over it before, but I can't remember I can't remember their schedule, but I got it up now. You said 3 games and he was out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, now they're getting ready to play Texans. They're going to lose to the Texans. They're going to lose to the Colts. They will lose to the Rams. They'll beat the Panthers. And let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So they're going to be, after 5 games, they're going to be 2-3. They'll beat the
Right.
Panthers. Then after that, they're going to lose to the Jaguars. They'll lose to the Commanders, probably. That's at Washington. They're going to lose to the Cardinals. They're, as of right now, unless injuries happen to these other teams. And they're going to lose to the Packers because by then, that's November 17th.
Jordan
Jordan
Love will be
Love will
back.
be back. The Vikings, Lions, the 49ers, the Vikings. Hey, they'll be lucky to win 6 games or 5. Lions, Seattle, the Packers. I mean, and they were talking about them winning. You remember all this talk that ESPN was doing, and they was going to win the division. There's a possibility they could win the division.
Yeah.
So that's their schedule. They may win 4 games. They may win 5 at the most.
I love that false hope that the ESPN be giving these folks. But you know what the bad thing about that whole statement is? Is even as bad as Caleb played, we still think he's going to beat Carolina. We won't give Carolina the
Well,
confidence to beat
that may be Carolina's only win of the season.
them.
So, but
The
that's their
only positive
schedule.
I got about this game is he didn't throw a pick. That's
Well,
about the only positive.
he'll throw 2 or 3 this coming Sunday night.
Yeah.
One of them may go for 6,
Yep.
unless he just overthrows them by 5 or 8, 10 yards like he was doing, and then nobody's gonna catch it. But that's what we got. We're getting close on our time right now.
Yep.
You got anything else? We got our picks in, and I will say this: with our picks last week, you outdid me. You went 13-3 on your picks, and I went 11-5.
I thought we was more the same on most of the stuff. I thought we only had like 2 or 3 games that was different.
No, there was. I got them right here. There was some change. Well, as soon as I get it, find out right here. I'll tell you the different picks we had with the NFL.
Because I know you took Eagles and
Okay,
I didn't.
the difference with us, I took the Eagles. You took the Packers. I took Atlanta over Pitt. You took Pitt. Um, let's see what other difference going down through here.
Cleveland and what you call it, Dallas.
You took Dallas, took Cleveland. I took Washington. You took Tampa. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. Yeah, that was yeah. I had 5 losses. You had 3.
Yeah, cool beans.
So you took that week, and we'll see what happens now. Um,
So I
coming up,
got you in the pros so far, and you got me in college.
yep. But let's see if I can't rebound. Which I don't know if we got a few difference, but not much when it comes to me to come back and take a Let's see. We about got the same picks coming this week. Actually, we all got the same picks this week. Yeah. So I can't I gain no ground on you. We no. There's one difference. I took the Rams. You took the Cardinals.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But this is the end. This is it for this episode. It's went by pretty quick.
Yep.
You got anything before we go ahead and end it?
I got nothing. We getting ready to break out that quick number.
Yeah, if you're thinking about harming yourself, there's always a number you can call 988. That's the Veterans Crisis Quick Number Hot the line, and the other number is the 1-800 number is 1-800-273-8255. Don't hesitate to give that a call or go to your local VA medical center. There's people on staff there 24/7. And if you say how you know, I was like, well, that's where me and Cool Beans work. So there's people there 24/7, and they have people there for counselors on call 24/7, and they'll have them come in if you need help or whatever. And so just don't hesitate to walk in the VA Medical Center and ask for help. You have anything else, Beans?
I got nothing.
Well, that'll be it. And we'll see you Saturday night live. And we'll hope you have a good week. Stay safe.